Hello and welcome everyone, it's another edition of My Favorite Games, and today I'm going to be playing Tempest 2000 on the Atari Jaguar. Now this is notoriously the best known Jaguar game out there, I think. Well, maybe Alien vs. Predator, but I think a lot of people regard this as the best Jaguar game. I would argue that it's not. I prefer one of the first-person shooters on the system over this, but this is a hell of a game, and I think if you're going to own a Jaguar, you got to have this one. And it felt like it was only right that I eventually do a video on this one here, so here we are. Now I had Tempest 2000 back in the day when it was new on the Jaguar, and admittedly, I didn't love it back then. I thought it was cool and trippy and had a good soundtrack and everything, but to be honest, I was kind of bad at it. And I think that was maybe why I didn't like it so much. It wasn't that I disliked it. It was that I think I didn't have the patience for it. I don't know. It seemed retro before I wanted to play retro. Retro was still new enough that it was just old at the time, right? And there was no nostalgia at play like I have now. But anyway, let's get into it here. That is some great 90s techno music. I wanted to be really quiet for a little bit there and just let the music start playing because that was like I still remember like the first time firing up this game, right, putting in the cartridge and hitting power and everything and getting the game going. When that music came on, I was blown away, and I was trying to kind of recapture that a little bit. I know it's hard now because we have CD sound and everything in our games, and then some, right, with decades of technological advancements and stuff in our video games. But at the time, that was like, it was cool. I mean, granted, I had Sega CD before I had this, so it's not like CD sound in video games was anything new back then either, but there was kind of like the start of the electronic music like revolution, I guess you could say, and this was like my very first taste of that kind of thing was in this game. So this was before Daft Punk and Prodigy and Future Sound of London and Chemical Brothers and all of them would come out a handful of years later and rock my world and everything. This was like my first taste of that kind of stuff that was to come. So. But if you're not familiar with Tempest, and you're kind of like, what is he playing here? It's just an old school arcade game, right? The original Tempest came out in 1980, so if that gives you any kind of idea of like what games were like back then, you can remember there's stuff like Defender and Missile Command and Centipede and all that. Those were things that were in arcades at the time. A version of this was also out there, right? This is not the first Tempest game, but this series has always been about recapturing that classic arcade feel that the original game had, and they've always done an excellent job of that. The spiritual successor to this game on PlayStation Vita, TXK, that plays just like this. I mean, different music and different sound effects, and it doesn't have the Tempest name. It's not a licensed Tempest, or it's not officially, Tempest licensed game, I guess, or whatever. But it's made by Jeff Minter, who had a lot to do with the Jaguar version of this game, and other games too that you may have seen in recent years. Things like Space Giraffe and gosh, what was the one that just came out not that long ago? It was on PlayStation VR. I can't remember what it was called. Oh, Polybius. Jeez, how could I forget that? Polybius. Rather notorious game name there. But yeah, anyway, this series has always just been about like frantic action and just kind of like blistering pace as the enemies are closing in and having to make snap decisions. Do I want to use my bomb here? Do I want to use my jump? Which I haven't showed either of those yet, but I'll get to those in a bit. What I'm doing right now is just kind of a funky little bonus stage that you do in this game, and this is actually also in the TXK game on Vita, but you use motion controls to navigate through these rings. And actually, they're not rings on the Vita, I don't think. Are they? They don't look exactly like this. It's a little different, and it's way hard with the motion controls. It's like stupidly hard with the motion controls. You have to just like set it down on the table. You'll fly perfectly through everything. And this is like the best I've ever done at this little mini game here, to be honest. It's really easy to overshoot. You have to just like keep feather tapping the D-pad here. Alright, I made it. Oh, no, I guess I didn't. I've never been this far before, and all the times I've played this game. Oh, see, and that's why... Oh, I almost overshot there. It gets hard. You gotta... Oh, shit. Oh, see, it's really tough. It's super twitchy, super responsive to up and down. It's really easy to overshoot those things. But yeah, I love this game. It's super fun. It's really addicting, and this is one of those games where you can play this and everything else around you just kind of melts away, and this is like all that exists. It's just you and the game. And I tell you what, man, playing TXK, which I'll do a video of TXK sometime too on the Vita. I have that on my Vita. Well, I have a Vita TV that I can do a video of that with. But playing that on an airplane earlier this year was awesome, because it just, like I said, everything melted away, and I don't really love flying, so being able to have something like that would just like capture my attention, have me just like focusing kind of hard for a little while, was really awesome, really welcome. And this game is just like that, you know. It's the same kind of thing. I didn't know how it was going to be doing a video, trying to talk and play this game at the same time, because this game gets pretty intense. And granted, I'm not super far into it right now, but you might see me start talking less as it starts to get crazier. I can also just accept the fact that I'm maybe not going to have my best game here while I'm trying to talk, but it's addicting, you know. You want to do your best. It just, the game like kind of infects you with this drive to perform. I may have said this already. It's that game that you play, and when you set down the controller after you're finished, your palms are sweaty, and you notice that you've been like sitting on the edge of your seat the whole time. You like lean back and kind of catch your breath, and it's awesome though. But so I apologize. I haven't really explained much of what the game is about. I mean, it's probably self-explanatory, I'm guessing, right? You're watching me play, you kind of figure this out. You're on these levels. They're called webs in this game. Each web is different shape as you progress here. And like on this one, you're upside down and stuff, right? And it gets tricky. It's easy to get your left and right mixed up. But yeah, the enemies come down the lanes. You want to be shooting down the lane before they get to you, and you've got a couple of tricks up your sleeve. There's the electric death, which is just like kind of it's more or less it's a bomb. It's like wipes out everything on the screen kind of thing. And then you've got the jump, which the jump is cool. I need to earn it though. You have to get it from, and there's the electric death. You have to earn it from a power-up. And the jump is cool because it kind of more or less it extends the lanes, right? It like pulls you back off of the web, and you're kind of out away from it. So if there are enemies at the end here, at the end of the web, you can kind of still move over them without having them grab you and pull you down the lane. I'll have to show you in a bit here. I'll have to focus on getting power-ups so that I can do the jump. There we go. I got a jump enabled. I'll wait until I need to use it here. Close enough. I'll just use it now. I might not need to use it. There we go. There's a guy. So yeah, just pulls you back. It's just a quick little thing where you just... Oh shit, and I landed on a guy, basically. Pulled me down the lane. But yeah, it's just a frantic, fun game. You know, this is one of those games that you play for the fun of it, for the challenge of it, and especially back when this was new, right? When this was on the Jaguar, this is before online gaming. Really, this is you know, no achievements, no video capture, no, you know, this was more or less just for bragging rights, and if you were lucky, you got to play this in front of your friends and have somebody witness like an awesome run that you would do on it. But yeah, more or less, it was just one of those games that you played for the fun of playing. Sometimes I feel like that's a little bit lost in modern gaming. And here we are, another bonus stage. What's kind of neat about these is this is like early days of 3D gaming. You had Star Fox on the Super Nintendo, right? Some really basic polygonal stuff there. And this is sure easy. All I gotta do is mostly go in a straight line on this one. I'm sure they're gonna throw one off for me here and make me actually overshoot it any minute. But yeah, the webs and the enemy models and stuff in this game. Very early days of 3D gaming, and that was also part of the charm too. You know, the music is cool, the action's cool, but there was definitely a part of me that liked just seeing stuff in 3D at the time because it was so new, you know. Oh wow, it's really hard to see where the rings are. Hey, I made it. Awesome, awesome. Warp 5 levels, sweet. And look at that row of lives I've got up there. I'm having a pretty decent game right now, I guess. It's going alright. When I was a kid and I was playing this, this just seemed a lot harder in those days. And I think partly because I didn't have the control or the patience maybe to play it properly. I would just like roll back and forth holding down the fire button. Crap, that guy's on me. Oh yes, I gotta jump. Do I have another jump? I'm gonna need another one. Yes, alright. It's fun, those moments of panic and like just, you know, kind of frantic, like almost not quite terror, but just, you know, like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Gotta love it. Oh, got shot. All right, let's give this one another crack here. If you're wondering what that noise is, that is the sound of the spikes. That there's like an enemy that basically plants a line down the middle of the web. Shit, right as I got my AI partner. A line right down the middle of the track on the web. And at the end, when you kind of zoom down the web and move on to the next one, if you hit one of those spikes that they laid there, you die and go redo the level again. So you have to try and shoot them down like I'm doing right now. You hear that noise. And that way you can make sure that your lanes are clear for when you finish the web. Sorry, yeah, I'm having a hard time talking. It's getting intense. I'm missing power-ups left and right here too. Really sucking at collecting power-ups anyway. I guess I did okay on the web there, but... And of course the Super Zapper she's referring to is your little electric death tool. Your bomb that I was using a few times there. And I'm going to use again shortly here, since I don't have any jumps. But I had that. That helped. Oh, no, no, no. Oh. I knew he was closing in on the end. I thought I could get to him in time. There's just a lot of great effects going on the screen here at one time too. It was really impressive back in its day, just as far as like being as far as being pretty to look at and having a lot of things going on. It's kind of dazzling, you know. So while I wasn't great at the game back then, and I didn't have as much of an appreciation for the retro style as I do now as an adult, I could at least agree that it was a pleasurable game to watch because it was just cool to see so many things on the screen at one time. Oh, I'm gonna die. I got no jumps. Ah. Sometimes you can walk over the enemies when they're at the end of the web. But most of the time they grab you. Like that. I think this web might have my number. I'm in trouble here. Oof, having a hard time here. It's getting tough. It's getting very tough to keep up. I got no jumps. I got no bombs. Let's see. Ah, I was trying to time that right and make it. All right, let's see. I've got 6 lives left. Let's see if I can figure this out in 6 lives. I'm leaning forward in my seat. It's on. It's on. Yeah, this is so intense though. I love it. Just the blistering pace of rushing back and forth. And shit, I had to use that already. Just trying to hang on to that a little bit longer. Need some power-ups, man. There we go. Ah. Kept feeling like I had no time to collect any of those power-ups though. It was all just like, there's just too many enemies on the screen. Can't do it. Gotta rush over to that lane and that lane. Shit. These really colorful guys are hard to hit. They kind of dance in between the lanes. Give me that. Yes, AI droid. Thank you. Oh, I made it. All right. Oh, and I'm back up to 6 lives. That's cool. Had to do it. Had to use the super zapper there. Things were getting a little too crazy for me.
Super zapper recharge.
Oh, right. Got an AI droid kind of early there. Oh, shit. Trying to send out a text in between lives there. Got a buddy who wants to play some Zombie Army Trilogy with me. Told him, hey man, I'm doing a Jaguar thing right now. But it's getting pretty intense now. It's getting pretty hard. I don't know if I'm going to be able to survive too much longer here. Probably won't keep him waiting too much longer. Oh, shit. Thought I could get there just in time to smoke that last guy, but he was too quick for me. Oh, that's my groundskeeper, Willie. Ah, man, that always happens. That always happens. You hit them, and a piece of them flies forward, catches you. Give me that power up. There we go. Oh, I needed that power up. This is how I used to play it as a kid. Just sitting there doing circles. That can get you so far, but eventually they creep up the lanes on you. Yeah, and you can't do it on stages like this, right? Oh, am I gonna make it? No. I'm trying to race to the power-ups. Part of the problem with this game, if we're being perfectly honest, the D-pad on the Jaguar controller leaves a lot to be desired. The Jaguar controller in general is just not great. I don't have the rotary controller, which is something that was officially made for a little while, I think, and now, you know, all these years later, there's... Oh, shit. Now, all these years later, there's nobody making official Jaguar stuff anymore. But you've got these enthusiasts out there, these hardcore Jaguar fans who are either homebrewing a rotary controller, or I think, oh man, I didn't even see the bullet coming down the lane on that one, or arranging to have these rotary controllers manufactured. And if you don't know what the rotary is, basically just a dial that goes above the D-pad on those controllers. And the original Tempest arcade game, I think, had the rotary dial like that. Gonna have to use the zapper. And so you're trying to recapture that feel by getting a Jaguar controller with the rotary on it. It's sort of, I think purists would argue that it's the way that Tempest is meant to be played. Oh man, okay, this it's getting hard to talk and play on this web. I think this one might have my number. This might be the end of the video here. Give it my best effort, though. Yeah, that stupid demon thing coming down the lane. I decided to use the zapper. I wasn't gonna take any. I wasn't gonna risk it because I think this is my last life. Oh shit! Oh no, this is my last life, right? Yeah. Okay. Now I'm on the last one. It's okay. I got this. Crap. Ah, it's such a good run earlier today too. I was doing a warm-up of sorts so I could be... oh man, are you serious? I was doing a warm-up of sorts earlier so I could kind of be at my best for this video. But clearly that earlier game fried me out and I got nothing left at this point. But I did okay, I guess. I won the bonus round earlier. You saw that. That's. I guess I got lucky that it wasn't enough of a straight line there. Sometimes they kind of have you going all over the place. But, you know, I'll take it. It's a win. I'll take it. Anyway, Tempest 2000. If you're going to collect Jaguar stuff, I think you got to have this one. It's a lot of fun. It's great. And if you don't have a Jaguar, but you want to play this kind of a game, like I mentioned earlier, there is TXK on the PlayStation Vita. But even better, Tempest 4000 is coming out soon-ish, I guess. I don't know. Jeff Minter, who worked on this game, I guess, and some other ones. I may have mentioned this earlier in the video, but Jeff Minter put out a teaser video for Tempest 4000, and it had the music from this version from 2000, the music you just listened to, playing in the background while the game was going on, and a lot of longtime hardcore Jaguar fans were stoked about that old music being in there. So, but anyway, yeah, keep an eye out for that. And like always, thank you for hanging out and watching. And we'll catch you next time on My Favorite Games. See ya.